English Grammar and Composition 9 to 10. Contents. Chapter 1. Paragraph Writing. 1. My School. 2. Girl Guides. 3. A Visit to a Museum. 4. A Visit to a Hospital. 5. Fashions. 6. A River in Flood. 7. A Dream. 8. How to Keep Our Town Clean. 9. An Industrial Exhibition. 10. My Neighbor. 11. A Meena Bazaar. 12. A Road Accident. 13. Pakistani Women. Exercises with hints. 1. A Fortune Teller. 2. Basant. 3. A Picnic. 4. A Street Quarrel. 5. A Visit to an Historical Place. 6. A Visit to Dai Zoo. 7. Allama Iqbal. 8. The Teacher I Like the Best. 9. A House on Fire. 2-story writing. Introduction. Specimen. 1. Kindness of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. 2. Robbers turn good citizens. 3. The donkey trapped in his own trick. 4. The foolish stag. 5. A friend in need is a friend indeed. 6. Haste makes waste. 6. A big reward. 8. The tailor and the elephant. 9. The clever cat and the vain fox. X. The Muslim Brotherhood. 11. The boy who cried wolf. 12. The jester and the king. Exercises. Stories and outlines. 3 letters, applications, and invitations. 1. To your mother who is worried about your health. 2. To your father asking him about the health of your mother. 3. To your sister congratulating her on her success in the examination. 4. To your mother about the test you have just taken. V. To your father requesting him to send you some extra funds for payment of hostel dues. 6. To your brother about the importance of the study of science subjects. 7. To your friend congratulating her on her birthday. 8. To your friend requesting her to spend her spring holidays with you. 9. To your friend congratulating him on the marriage of his sister. 10. To your friend requesting him to lend you some books. 11. To your friend thanking her for her hospitality during your visit to her house. 12. To your friend condoling the death of his mother. 13. To your brother advising him to take steps to improve his health. 14. To your sister thanking her for a gift. 15. To your friend thanking him for the books he lent to you. Invitations. Acceptance and refusal. Applications. For leave. For grant of fee concession or stipend. For character certificate. For a job. Letter to a bookseller to send you some books. For dialogue writing. Examples. Between a teacher and a student. Between 2 students regarding prayers. Asking one's way. Between a brother and a sister concerning time. Between a tailor and a customer. 5. Comprehension of a passage. Solved examples. Exercises. 6. Essay writing. My last day at school. Sports and games. My house. Courtesy. Libraries. Health. The monsoon or a rainy day. A scene at the railway station. A hockey match. A cricket match. A true Muslim. Life in a big city. Village life. Television. A visit to a hill station. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Boy Scouts. Essays and outline. My favorite book. My ambition. My hobby. Our school canteen. My best friend. Exercise. 7. Translation. Table of question words. Conjugation of verbs. Introductory at, and, there. Use of is, am, are, and, was, were. Use of has, have. Use of had. Present indefinite tense, active voice. Present continuous tense, active voice. Present perfect tense, active voice. Present perfect continuous tense, active voice. Present indefinite tense, passive voice. Present continuous tense, passive voice. Present perfect tense, passive voice. Past indefinite tense, active voice. Past continuous tense, active voice. Past perfect tense, active voice. Past perfect continuous tense, active voice. Past indefinite tense, passive voice. Past continuous tense, passive voice. Past perfect tense, passive voice. Future indefinite tense, active voice. Future continuous tense, active voice. Future perfect tense, active voice. Future perfect continuous tense, active voice. Future indefinite tense, passive voice. Future perfect tense, passive voice. Paragraphs. 8. Grammar. Parts of speech. Pair of words. 9. Vocabulary. Chapter 6. Writing an essay. First of all, you would like to know what an essay is and what it is about. An essay is an attempt to write meaningfully on a certain theme or subject. An English composition shows your range of vocabulary, its correct use in simple, idiomatic sentences, and some knowledge of the subject. You may be asked to write on an object like a house, a tree, an animal, or a garden. You begin to describe them as they are in their appearance, size, place, history, and purpose. On the other hand, themes or subjects like an incident, an accident, a journey, a fair, a biography, a favorite book or a visit require you to write about them step by step. You know, every situation has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So while writing an essay, too, you have to proceed stage by stage. You are expected to write relevantly all that you know about the subject. You have to develop each stage of the essay in a paragraph of suitable length. The main and important points should be properly highlighted. An essay is expected to reflect your personal feelings and opinions. You should have the courage to express your personal opinion in your essay. It should have the touch of originality. It should not be a mere repetition of what others say. Allah has given you the faculties of head and heart. You are required to make use of them. Your eyes can see and your hand can write. The wonderful world around you, with all its wealth, awaits your comments. Why hesitate? Come on, add something of your own to the great beauty of the world. Write an essay. Won't you? My last day at school. The first and last days at school are of unique significance for students. While the first day at school may cause anxiety, fear, and nervousness, the last day is surely a day of hope, confidence, and preparedness. My last day at school is still fresh in my memory. I felt very relaxed because there was no teaching work that day. My heavy satchel was off my back at last. It was a big relief. I took the bus quite leisurely and got off at the school bus stop. I made my way through small groups of schoolfellows, talking noisily and a good many embracing with one another. Our juniors of 9th class hosted a farewell party and entertained us to a variety of sweetmeat and tea. Our worthy headmaster and kind teachers also participated. Formal farewell speeches were made on the occasion. A boy sang a ghazal and delighted the audience with his melodious voice. Finally, the headmaster addressed the gathering and advised the students to work with devotion and be well-mannered to succeed and prosper in life. Before dispersing, we thanked our juniors for their nice farewell. Sports and games. Sports and games play an important role in the development of human personality. They are no less important than food and fresh water. The developed countries like England, Germany, France, and USA have made games an essential part of education at the school level. It is interesting to note that there are many nurseries and training centers for games in these countries. They admit boys and girls for necessary training to become future athletes, gymnasts, and sportsmen. No doubt, games and sports are becoming popular in Pakistani schools as well. The facilities, of course, are not adequate at present. The situation is expected to improve in the near future. The Pakistani schoolboys and schoolgirls know fully well the meaning of the proverb, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." They know that their growing bodies need regular physical exercise to keep themselves healthy and fit. General sports include hunting, fishing, angling, riding, cycling. Mountaineering, mountain climbing, is becoming favorite sport of Pakistani schoolboys in summertime among the mountains of Muri, Nathia Gali, Swat, Chitral, Kagan and the Karakoram Highway. A number of school clubs and societies hold athletic contests. These contests include walking, jogging, jumping, swimming, rowing, wrestling, boxing, hammer or disc, throwing, light, weightlifting and gymnastics. An athlete is trained to be perfectly fit to engage in such contests. Moreover, football, hockey, cricket, tennis, badminton and table tennis are among the favorite organized games in schools. All such sports and games certainly benefit both mind and body. They create cheerfulness, discipline, fellowship, confidence and physical fitness. My house. A house, you know, is an important necessity. The quality of life improves when you have a house of your own. It gives you an opportunity to turn some of your dreams into reality. You decorate your rooms according to your taste. You look after your plants and flowers with a loving care. I live in a small house not far from my school. The house is almost new. It is a little way back from the road, and in front of it there is a small garden. A path leads from the gate to the porch. A corner of the porch is evergreen with a lovely creeper that remains in brilliant bloom round the year. Downstairs there is a lounge, which is a general living room with television. This room is used as a reception room for guests. There is a dining room, and a kitchen. The drawing room with a large window faces the front lawn. Upstairs are the bedrooms and the children's room. The rooms of my house are not large. The largest room is the lounge. It has windows on both ends for proper light and ventilation. My father and Elle love to work in the garden. We prune the bushes once a year. And in summer we get our fruit trees sprayed every month. My mother loves roses and spring flowers and looks after flower beds herself from time to time. I take care to keep the front lawn tidy enough by using a lawn mower. One's own house is a blessing. Indeed. Courtesy. Courtesy means excellence of manners or polite behavior. It, of course, springs from good breeding and kindness of heart. A courteous man is pleasant and polite to everybody. He observes good manner on all occasions and always respects the feelings of others. When people meet, they greet one another saying good morning or good evening according to the time of the day. Muslims greet one another, saying Assalamu alaikum, and they often ask about each other's health and well-being. A Muslim greeting is a kind of wish, a prayer for mutual happiness, peace, and security. The Holy Quran lays stress on this form of greeting in Surah Al-Nur verse 61. If you know two persons who happen to be strangers, it is your duty to introduce them to each other. If both are men, you introduce the younger to the older. Please meet my elder brother. If both are women, but one married and the other single, you introduce the Latter to the former. If one is a man and the other a woman, it goes without saying that you introduce the man to the woman, and not the other way round. You pronounce both names clearly if they are males and the two persons shake hands, saying how do you do. Good manners demand that you make no attempt to jump the queue. In a crowded bus, if you are physically fit, you give up your seat to an elderly person or to someone who is blind, disabled or sick. You have to say thank you to those who are good to you. Courtesy really makes everyday life more pleasant, more friendly and more meaningful. Libraries. With the spread of literacy, libraries have become essential tools for learning. Public instruction is making rapid progress everywhere in Pakistan. It is no more the privilege of the well-to-do only to acquire knowledge as it was not so very long ago. There are schools and colleges in almost every part of the country. 21st century dawns with a sure promise to be a century of peace and educational explosion. Naturally, when there is thirst for knowledge, there is also an ever-increasing demand for books and magazines. Everybody does not have the means to buy books of all sorts. Mass education program is bound to suffer adversely if there are no free libraries for students. Our school libraries are not functioning properly. There are practically no reading or borrowing facilities. There is no whole-time staff for libraries. Above all, there is no incentive to read general books or fiction. The few books that may be there in the dusty old almirahs stink awfully. This is mainly so for want of fresh air in the stuffy, locked cupboards. More often the books are just old titles, moth-eaten and worn out. Libraries obviously play an important role in creating a genuine love of books, an interest in current affairs. Their reading rooms promote a spirit of discipline, research, inquiry, and fellowship. Libraries with a variety of attractive titles have a healthy, beneficial effect on the eager minds of students. Health is wealth is a well-known proverb often quoted by our parents and teachers. When people meet, they usually ask one another, how are you? How are you getting on? Health is precious and certainly a great blessing of Allah Almighty. Hygienic environment, personal cleanliness, wholesome food, and a regular way of life are conducive to health. Early to bed and early to rise, meals at regular times, recreation and rest are sure to make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Young people, who have plenty of energy, need to take vigorous athletic exercises in the fresh open air. In case we are run down, overworked, or dreadfully sick, we consult a good doctor. He gives us a tonic, or prescribes a special diet. You are working too hard, he may say, that's what the trouble is. You cannot go on burning the candle at both ends. Sometimes staying at one place, year in and year out, tends to make us weary and stale. It is a signal that what we need is a complete change in our environment. If we go to some other place at the hills or in the countryside, it does us a world of good. Change and fresh air are better than all the tonics in the world. Eating out is generally avoided by health-conscious men and women. Homemade cookies are the safest and the best in the world. The monsoon or a rainy day. In the first week of July, sky was heavily overcast and rain clouds swept across the sky. Strong southwesterly winds that blew over the Indian Ocean brought the monsoon clouds which caused a lot of rain. Southwesterly monsoon is refreshingly cool and it brings relief to the gasping, heat-stricken people. So it did in July when the temperature rose alarmingly high. Newspapers carried reports of deaths by heatstroke or exhaustion, and the death toll was mounting every day. A night before it had been oppressively hot and humid. It was dazzling sunrise and the moist dew on the grass glittered in the sunshine. Surprisingly, the wind rustled through the swaying tops of trees. That was just splendid. The humid heat was gone in no time. We saw the rolling mass of black clouds across the sky. There was a flash of lightning, quickly followed by a clap of thunder. Large raindrops began to fall. The moment they fell, the dry earth sucked them. It was followed by a heavy shower. In the soothing shadows of dark clouds the streets were turned into streams. The high walls were drenched, the tree leaves sparkled in glee. Low-lying areas were flooded. The young and the old alike ran up and down the flooded streets. There were scenes of jubilation all around. It rained for about 1 hour. Light vehicles broke down on the flooded roads. Motorcyclists slipped and fell in pools of water. Nobody felt sorry. You know it does not rain every day, does it? A scene at a railway station. The British invented the railway and the locomotive. The rail track was laid for the trains to connect different towns and villages on the route. The train, drawn by heavy engine, would stop briefly for the passengers at places called railway stations. There are obviously typical scenes at a railway station. The smart, uniformed station master and his staff hurriedly move about when some train arrives or is about to leave. The platform is thronged with passengers, men, women, and children. Some stay close to their piles of luggage, others just walk about looking at colorful ads. The vendors do a roaring trade. Their brightly lit stalls or carts at different points attract passengers. There is noise and clamor all around. Meals, fruits, books, magazines, souvenirs and knickknacks sell like hot cakes. The prospect of long, arduous and tiring journey ahead worries the passengers. In summer pitchers and fans are in great demand. Water coolers and taps are the busiest spots. Such a bustle follows when the train pulls in at the platform. Some people pick their way politely along the crowded platform while others bump into one another as they go hurriedly from one compartment to another. The porters in their red shirts are seen bustling about. A hawker hurries from door to door, crying, "The Jang, the news, the nation and the Nawa I waked." Such are some of the scenes at the railway station. A hockey match. I was delighted to witness a hockey match between Pakistan and Germany at the Pakistan Stadium recently. The players of both the teams showed qualities of strength, speed, stamina, agility, and mobility until the final whistle. The Germans dominated in the beginning, but the Pakistani players fought back and coordinated remarkably. The Germans made strong attempts, but our goalkeeper made spectacular saves. The match was suspended briefly when the home crowd fired crackers which caused a dense smoke all around. The Pakistani forwards kept the ball in their possession and played like a team. The only weakness, however, was in the striking of penalty corners. The team played with full devotion. Pakistan opened its attack mostly from the flanks, but speed and timely interception of the Germans saved them. Our left half took the ball from the German attackers and after running up a few paces sent in a through pass to the inside left. He dispatched the ball towards the goal with a flick. Another Pakistani player who was closely following him tapped the ball to score the goal. The crowd went wild with joy at the victory of Pakistan. A cricket match. A cricket match between the two leading teams is an event of great charm. It was quite interesting to watch a match between two teams in the President's Gold Cup cricket tournament. The Rawalpindi Greens took a brilliant start after winning the toss. Openers Masood and Tariq together laid a solid foundation of 121 before being parted. Masood was in top form and he hammered the Deccan bowlers all around the vast field. He scored a dashing 75 in only 81 deliveries, which included 8 sizzling fours and 2 towering sixes. He was finally caught by Handad at long mid on off Sahir when attempting another big hit. The Confielders were not active enough and they dropped even easy catches quite often. The Greens scored magnificent 381 runs and Javed impressed the spectators. With his strokes, he shattered the rival bowlers and hit his first century in the tournament. Khan in reply were dismissed for 195. Some of their players cut a sorry figure. Only Jamshed and Shakir played brilliantly and delighted the people with their strokes and a couple of towering sixes. A true Muslim. To be a Muslim is a great blessing of Allah. It is indeed His mercy to make us believe in Allah and His prophets, as, the final one being the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The hallmark of a true Muslim is the magnanimity of heart. A true Muslim believes that Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. He remains conscious that Allah knows all the facts, even the innermost secrets of hearts. He believes that man can grasp only that part of his knowledge which Allah wills. He spends good, worthy things in the name of Allah. He knows that if he gives alms to the poor secretly, it will be, hopefully enough, atonement for some of his sins. A good Muslim is ever eager to seek knowledge. He is clean, brave, and pure. He does his duty well. He tries to attain excellence in every field of life. He or she offers prayers punctually 5 times a day. A true Muslim believes that good deeds endure for rich rewards in the hereafter. It is indeed a great privilege to be a Muslim. Life in a big city. Daily life in a big city like Lahore is ever so busy and exciting. The busiest parts of the day are called peak hours. The rush of traffic in the morning, at midday, and in the early evening is at its peak. The big urban transport buses, wagons, cars, coaches, private transport vehicles, taxi cabs, motorcycles, tongas and raras pass up and down from morning till late at night. At peak hours the noise of the passing traffic is so high that 2 persons cannot hear each other. The busiest and terribly noisy spots in Lahore are they Minar-e-Pakistan, Badami Bah, Badi Gate, Mokai Gate, Railway Station, Regal Crossing, Laxmi Chowk, Itra, and Multan Road. Important buildings like the Lahore High Court, GPO, Museum, Jinnah Hall, Punjab University, Old Campus, Masjid Shuhada, the Assembly Chambers, Wapta House, the Zoo, Al-Hamra, Quaid-e-Azam Library, Governor House, Atchison College, shopping centers, foreign banks, are situated on the Shara-i-Quaid-e-Azam, the mall. This main avenue is remarkably clean and green. There is practically no dust and its pavements are crowded with people hurrying to and fro. Traffic policemen are always on duty here and they regulate the heavy traffic efficiently. Well over 100,000 vehicles and 500,000 people pass up and down this busy thoroughfare in a single day. Local and foreign tourist traffic to ancient sites like Badshahi Mosque, the Fort, the Jahangir and Noor Jahan mausoleums and the Shalimar Garden is also quite heavy. Life in a big city like Lahore is a whirl of activities. On the other hand, broken streets, stray dogs, ill-smelling slums, stagnation, sloppy administration, soaring crimes, and sickening pollution are the sore signs of city life as well. Village life. Village life is most of the time remarkably quiet. A village is made up of farmhouses, mud houses, uneven dirt lanes and ponds. There are dung hills, heaps of rubbish and rows of dung cakes. Inside the village there is practically no vehicular traffic. Occasionally there is a whirring tractor or squeaking bullock cart in some of the outer lanes. In some of the big courtyards there are clusters of shady trees. Outside the village there is usually a big banyan tree along the pond. Village folks and some of their cattle take rest under its ample shade in summer. The minarets of the village mosque rise high above the low skyline of a village. The azan is the welcome, familiar sound in the quiet village. 5. times a day. There are cattle and cart sheds, dark and ill-smelling, where cows and buffaloes are kept. There are a couple of stables for horses and a few poultry houses. The chickens, ducks, and geese are free to run about in the open spaces as they please. When all the birds and animals make their cries, the village is a somewhat a noisy place for a while. The donkeys bray, the cocks crow, the hens cackle and cluck. The ducks in dirty drains quack, the horses neigh, the bulls bellow, the cows low. The dogs bark and growl, the cats mew and the owls screech at night. The tough farmer plows his fields in the morning. The harvest time is very busy. Men, women, and children work together at seed and harvest time. A hard life. Indeed. The village folks are really the backbone of our country. They are stout of hearts and strong of limbs. They face harsh conditions in villages and around, but they seldom complain. As compared with big city, they seem to have stepped back into another century. Television. Television is one of the marvelous inventions of science. Indeed, it is a magic box. Pictures and images flick across the screen and delight the viewers. The world of news and entertainment is moving very fast. Television and radio have come to stay in our lives. Television programs in general and drama in particular have always fascinated me a lot. I should frankly admit that up to class 8 I would spend much of my time watching different programs. But now I am selective and see only what suits my taste. I'll know that watching television for long is harmful for the eyesight. Too much exposure to the flickering light damages the sight. Sitting before the set in an awkward position also causes pain in limbs. Neck bone and shoulders are also badly affected. What I like most on TV is the world of nature. No other program can be that wonderful. Each program on nature, animals, and landscape gives me a glimpse of the beautiful world. I feel like discovering the world in which I live. I feel I know very little of the vast world of wonderful forms. The World of Nature program gives me a lot of information and understanding. Creation of so many moving objects is one of the sure signs of Allah Almighty. One of the divine names of Allah is Al-Musawwir. He is the creator, the painter, the originator of so many forms of beauty and their perfect proportions. The National Geographic programs on TV always bring to me a new glimpse of natural beauty. I'll love it. It is amazing indeed. A visit to a hill station. My love of adventure comes natural to me. The degree of love varies from person to person. My adventuresome spirit prompted me, and a friend of mine suggested to visit Naran in the Kagan Valley. One July morning we left for Abbottabad by bus and reached there in the afternoon. The journey was tiring and we slept soundly for the night. Next morning we left for Balakot. On the way, we passed by Jangal Mangal and Jabba, over 20 kilometers from Mansura. Around Jabba there was a thick forest and the beauty of the landscape was simply breathtaking. There were very sharp, hairpin turns on the road near Batrazi. We saw the conjunction point where the river Kunhar meets two other streams. Near Garai Habibullah. The hills around looked beautiful with clouds clung round their tops. There was a rope bridge over the Kunhar near Shahan. It was a strange experience to hear the noise of the rushing river water at Balakot. The noise was all around. Everywhere, inside shops, houses, mosques and out on the roads, open spaces, and slopes, the noise dominated. At night when I woke up, I could hear this noise in the hotel room also. In the evening we visited Shah Ismail Shahid's grave in the outskirts of Balakot. Balakot was devastated by the severe earthquake on October 8, 2005. The site plan will give a new look to Balakot. The road to Kagan was in a bad shape. It was high in upper half of the high mountain slope, and the river Kunhar looked like a ribbon far below. There were many dangerous turns. Our jeep crossed about 8 glaciers from Kagan to Naran. Naran is 78-90 feet above the sea level. It was very still in the woods around Naran. There were logs in the river. There was a fast-flowing ice-cold stream from Eiffelmaluk Lake to the Kunhar at Naran. The sight was really breathtaking. All around there were summits and slopes and the noise of the rushing stream. The Eiffelmaluk Lake is 10537 feet above sea level and over 12 kilometers from Naran. There was a huge glacier on the way from Naran. It was an extremely enjoyable and unforgettable trip. We were thoroughly refreshed when we came back. Qda Zarn Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The bright star of the history of Pakistan is Muhammad Ali Jinnah. It was the will of Allah that the physically weakling son of Punja Jinnah would one day be the founder of Pakistan. He was born in Karachi on December 25, 1876. After his matriculation, he was sent to England for higher studies. He distinguished himself over there as a keen and upright student. He qualified from the Lincoln's Inn as a brilliant barrister. On his return to India, he joined the Indian National Congress. He was an ardent supporter of the Hindu-Muslim unity. But the narrow vision of certain communal leaders disappointed him. He decided to join the Muslim League. He inspired the Muslims of India with his glorious vision. He worked hard for a separate homeland for the Muslims. The odds were against him. The Hindus, the British and a section of the Muslims were hostile to him. But he grappled with every problem. His aim was high, he soared like an eagle. He organized the party. The Muslims rallied round him, the hostile forces had to be at a retreat. August 14, 1947 was the day of his triumph. Pakistan appeared on the map of the world. He took oath of office as the first Governor-General of the new country. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the Quaid-e-Azam in the true sense of the word. His health had been breaking down under a heavy pressure of work. He died in Karachi on September 11, 1948. But founders and heroes like him never die. Do they? Boy Scouts. The Scouts Association was founded by Baden Powell, a Britisher, in 1910. The movement spread very fast because its objectives were simple and noble. A boy, wishing to become a scout is required to take an oath. He holds fast to his noble promise under all circumstances. He fulfills his duty to God Almighty, to his country and to the people in distress. Besides, he has a keen sense of loyalty to human and moral values. A Boy Scout is expected to be a well-balanced person. His morals are without a blemish. He enjoys a very sound physical and mental health. He is eager to help the injured, the needy and the handicapped. He refrains from hurting the feelings of others. Moreover, a Boy Scout has the qualities of leadership. He is firm and noble in command. He is humble and willing in obedience. He learns useful crafts and skills. He is efficient in using a knife and an axe, in trying to tie up various knots, in cooking food and in pitching a tent. In peace and emergencies, a Boy Scout shows courage, responsibility, and self-confidence. Essays and outline. My favorite book. Books are so many and so very charming, I like to read again and again. Tales of the Punjab edited by Flora Annie, a collection of about 40 stories, very absorbing indeed. Even in English translation the tales retain their rough, ready wit. There is drama and humanity in all of them, the tales are old yet ever new. Roger Ricello, The Wrestlers, The Barber's Clever Wife I like best. There are tales of wizards, princes, serpents, and talking beasts. In these tales we recognize the universal evils and timeless golden values of mankind. Beauty, truth, and honor conquer evil. In the long run, my ambition Progress, peace, and prosperity are the outcome of human ambitions. My ambition is to compete for a superior post in the CSS examination, not for vanity, but for setting a new trend of serving fellow citizens. We hear a lot about corruption, misuse of powers, foul play, rudeness, red tapeism. I pray to Allah Almighty for moral courage, to serve in the best interest of my country, to create a personal example of fair play and efficiency, to refrain from evil temptations, to live within my fair means, to hate ostentation, to decide cases on merit, to implement schemes for general uplift. My hobby. A hobby is an activity pursued for pleasure or relaxation but not as a main occupation. Kitchen work is my hobby, where I'll make tea, wash up cups, saucers and the kettle. If the sink is greasy or dirty with bits or bones or crumbs, I clean it. Wash it with soap or surf. Begins to sparkle, I prepare potato chips in the frying pan. I share them with others over a cup of tea. Shami kebab, pakora, pulao, and steamed rice I cook better than anybody in the house. The gas flame, the boiling oil, the sizzling pakora or chips relieve me of my strain of study. At leisure to do anything in the kitchen, feel well and fit gain. Our school canteen. Canteen, a place of rest and refreshments. Our canteen manager is a retired clerk of the school. Tea, biscuits, bun, and butter, sometimes naan and kebabs also. Utensils are substandard, edges of cups and saucers broken, quality of tea leaves inferior, flies everywhere. 2 boys in early teens are hearers, they sometimes quarrel with boys. Wooden chairs and benches, kerosene oil stove, it affects the taste of tea. Canteen crowded during the recess. My best friend. Devotion and sincerity are the true marks of lasting friendship. Adil is my bosom friend, soft-spoken, energetic, studious, a good player of badminton and table tennis, has a gentlemanly disposition. His English vocabulary is astonishing, reads fiction and magazines, polite and well-mannered. Fairly tall, his handwriting is superb, there is a dignity about him. Coming events cast their shadows before. His teachers expect him to bring distinction to his school. His ambition, to go abroad for higher studies. Exercise. Write an essay on each of the following topics. 1. A cricket match. 2. A rainstorm. 3. My school. 4. My best friend. 5. A visit to an industrial fair. 6. A cow. 7. Our national poet. 8. My neighbor. 9. How to make tea. 10. A railway journey. 11. Computers. 12. Street crimes. 13. Picnic spots. 14. Junk food. 15. Physical fitness. 16. Understanding the Quran with translation. 17. Prayer and its meaning. 18. Importance of dictionary.